Hey, it's his sister Roland. All I need is a few minutes.
Hey, so we're back with another Sunday podcast, and today we are going to talk about the mother versus daughter divide, the division that is amongst mothers and daughters. So, what prompted me to talk about this? Well, I always wanted to talk about it, but kind of needed something viral, trending, something that is going on right now to bring this topic into the forefront, into perspective. So, we have a story from Quora, not a story, a question from Quora. We know we're going to take stuff from Quora with a grain of salt because sometimes you can tell people are just trolling. But we're also going to bring into the conversation what happened in Macon, Georgia concerning Samaria White and what happened between her and her daughter. So let's take a look at the question from Quora. I'm going to put it somewhere on the screen. Remember, if you want to watch this, if you're listening to this, if you want to watch it, you could go to Spotify and find me. It's Your Sister Ro podcast. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is It's Your Sister Roland. So let's get into this question. It says, my 11-year-old son put hands on my 10-year-old daughter. So they have like a 1 year difference. In response, my daughter put hands on him back. I plow. That's what she did to the daughter. She slapped the daughter and grounded her for 2 weeks. That's a bit excessive. And I rewarded my son. Why is he getting rewarded again? Why is he getting rewarded? He was putting hands. Nobody needs to get rewarded here. Was this the right thing to do? Now, to do this video slash podcast, we're going to pretend this is actually true. It could be true because some people, there are mothers that actually do this, that their sons do certain stuff and the daughters get in trouble or the daughter get in trouble and the son walks away scot-free. So both of them were putting hands on each other, which you should not even tolerate. So with some people, kids putting hands on each other, that's not a big deal. That's what siblings supposed to do. But there's a level that these kids always putting hands on each other. They always fighting. They always not getting along. When they get older, and then everybody wonder why they don't even like each other because from since they were small, they was putting hands on each other. But oh no, that's how kids gonna be. That's how kids gonna do. So I never, because that's exactly what I went through when I was younger with my older sister. Always fighting, always arguing, and we are not close at all. We are not close. And I did not want that to happen between for my girls. I never when I when they would start arguing, they would argue. And it seems like something gonna come. I immediately rush in and say, no, this is not gonna happen here. Now, just the other day, they informed me that it was one time when they were younger, they I guess they were mad at each other, and I had stepped out to get something. I think I went to pick up something at the library or something like that. It was like no less than 5 minutes. They was putting hands on each other, but I didn't know that. Just the other day was telling me that. So when I guess when I came in the car, they pretended like nothing happened, and they had just been putting hands on each other because they know I don't tolerate stuff like that. And because I did not tolerate them putting hands on each other in front of me or whatever, because remember, it's just the other day I found out they have, not only are they, they have that sister bond, but they have a friendship. Some of your family members, all you have with them is the only thing that bond you together is because you're family, because you're the same blood, you're the same last name, or whatever. But you don't have any type of friendship. There's no togetherness because nobody promoted that. Nobody advocated for that. And then people wonder why people are not close at all when they get older. So anyway, with this lady, this happens a lot with mothers that have, boys and girls. Sometimes they are married, sometimes they are single mothers. And I've always heard people say, "Oh, girls are for their dads and boys are for their mom." So we already putting that out there that, you the son already gonna be close with the mom, the girl already gonna be close with the dad. Is the dad, but suppose the dad not there. Suppose the mother's not there. I would think because that's my child, you came out of me, whether you're a girl or boy, you're mine. We're supposed to be close anyway. But I've always heard people say that. So the boy started it. He would, for whatever reason, maybe okay, the girl said something mean to him. She touched his stuff. So he put hands on her. And she hit him back. If you never thought your kids to say, "Hey, I don't want you hitting each other. Something happened, come and let me know." Obviously, she did not reiterate on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Don't be putting hands on each other. Because some things you have to tell kids over and over and over again so that they can get it. Some kids get it right away, some kids you don't. So you didn't reiterate, say, "Hey, don't be putting hands on each other. Somebody hit you, you come let me know, I'm gonna deal with it." But obviously you don't even need to do that because look how you dealt with it. Your son hit your daughter. She hit him back. Then you in return came in, slapped your daughter, and grounded her for 2 weeks when your son was the one that hit her. And you know that your son hit her because that's what you said. You said, "My 11-year-old son hit my daughter." So you know he started it for whatever reason. But yet he got rewarded and the daughter get punished. And this happens a lot in many different households where the son does the most outrageous stuff, the most crazy stuff, the most disrespectful things, but he still gets rewarded. I've heard women say their mothers, from since they were younger, like 12 years old, they were cleaning and cooking and doing all kind of stuff, washing laundry, and the son would sit there, don't do nothing. And sometimes the son is older, and the mother still cooks for the son. The mother still does his laundry and stuff like that, but has nothing to do with the daughters or with the daughter. This happens a lot. This is what a lot of mothers do. This is what a lot of mothers do, unfortunately, and they don't. I don't know if some of them realize this, but this is what's causing a divide between them and their daughters. You show more affection you show more affection, you show more love, you show more concern for your son than to your daughter, or to your daughters, to your sons than to your daughters. And sometimes it's not even son and daughter. Sometimes if the person um, if the person has several, baby fathers and stuff like that, the baby father that they had a good relationship with, those kids, they have a good relationship with, they care about them, they love them, they treat them a good way. But the one they probably didn't have a good relationship with, no, that child go through hell and high water. And it may not necessarily be just the daughters, even the son, because I know this guy that I dated, his mother didn't have problems with any of the other kids because she kind of somewhat had a good relationship with the fathers. However, with his father, she wanted his father to be with her, but he was a married man and he was not going to leave his wife. So ever since then, they never ever had a good relationship. Never. He actually left her home at a very young age. I think he was like 15 years old, and say he stopped living with his mother because they just couldn't get along. And this happens a lot. So your son, this lady's son, going around, and then you teach. What are you teaching him? You teaching him he could get away with stuff, and you wonder why when they go out there and they go be breaking the law and doing stuff they don't have no business doing, because that's what you taught them. You didn't know that's what you were teaching them, but that's what you're teaching them. They could get away with stuff because they've always gotten away with things with you. Things where they know they were supposed to be punished, they were supposed to be grounded, but you let them get away with it. So why would you think they're gonna say, "Oh no, I can't go in the store and steal the people's stuff. I cannot do that." Why would they say that? They have stolen people's stuff and you have made excuses. You have done stuff to let them get away. They're not gonna translate, and you do that at an impressionable age. They're young, so you letting them get away with things they should not be getting away with. That's what a lot of mothers do. And sometimes some of these is not, oh, that's a single mother. No, there are some women that are married that they run their household. Act like you don't know. The dad is just there to be there, but she runs the household. Okay. So in situations like this causes a divide. And it starts at a very young age. So imagine this 10-year-old girl, if this is true, this starts to, make her feel some type of way, make her feel disdain, make her feel unwanted, make her feel hatred towards her mother because he hit me, but he got rewarded. And I don't know what he got rewarded with, but and then you hit the girl. Both of them were supposed to be in trouble. Everybody have different ways of disciplining their kids and stuff like that. You're not supposed to be slapping kids and stuff like that, because so that's why they always say don't slap little kids, because you're gonna make their breath stink. That's what my people used to say. I don't know. And so now she's asking if this was the right thing to do, because obviously, yeah, if you have to ask, that was not the right thing to do at all, because both of the kids was supposed to be was supposed to get punished, because you as an older brother, because that's another thing that also happens, because we have to acknowledge that, even though we're not focusing on this, but we have to acknowledge that when you have older brothers that pick on their little sisters and their little brothers, and then sometimes you have older sisters too that, I mean, be cruel, to be mean to their little brothers and little sisters, and sometimes particularly their little brothers, because sometimes some men, they may start having disdain for women because it started with an older sister that used to pick on them, that used to bully them. So we do have to acknowledge that. Yes, we know that, though we're not talking about that today, but I do know that happens. So in this question, this mother, of course, was wrong, because your son started it. Your son put hands on his sister, and then he got away with it. Nothing happened to him. So next time, he's not going to hit her. Maybe he hit her once. Next time, it's going to be twice. Next time, he's probably going to punch her. Next time, he's probably going to kick her. But he's going to do that because he got away with it the first time. Nothing happened. And then we wonder why certain stuff happens. You see brothers and sisters, shooting each other and stuff like that. These stuff start when they are smaller. These things start at a very young age, and people are not paying attention. If you pay attention to the little things that may seem like they don't mean anything, you'll be able to catch the bigger things. But people don't do that. Let's talk about this lady here. So her name is Samaria White. I think she is 27. So this story started um, it started to go viral, but really people wasn't talking about it. There are people that talked about it because the Kiki Palmer situation that was going on. So that's why the Kiki Palmer situation overshadowed what happened here. But of course, it started to pick traction because people were started talking about it because this is definitely something a lot of people can relate to because a lot of people don't have a very good relationship with their mothers because of what happened when they were younger, how their mothers treated them, or how sometimes how they felt their mother treated them. Most of our parents, they didn't know what they was doing. They didn't know what they just did what they could do with what they had. So they did the best that they could do. And sometimes when they see one of their kids, is destined for greatness, destined to be something, sometimes they are harsher on that child. They're more, you get more responsibilities. If you get discipline, you get discipline. Um, the worst out of all the other kids, uh, or if you're the only child, or whatever it may be, because they want you to be great, but they didn't know how. That's the only way they knew how to go about that. Discipline, even though it was wrong. And then sometimes, some people end up realizing that yes, it was for my good, but then sometimes that pushes you away from your parent because you how you were treated. And then if there's no communication, there's no open communication, that relationship sometimes is very, it has a lot of tension. It has a lot of tension. So this mother, she went viral. And mind you, because a lot of people was like, "Oh, why y'all always filming and stuff like that?" It was one of her daughter's friend that was filming, that happened to film. So if the daughter friend happened to film, so maybe this lady used to always do stuff like that. I don't know. So let's see. The video was taken by a concerned neighbor whose children are playing at White's home. So I think this happened on July 4th, if I'm not mistaken. I think this happened on July 4th. If it's not July 4th, it's the next day. But it was, I tell you, it was during the time the Kiki Palmer thing was going on. So, say the neighbors told deputies that White got mad and sent everyone home. I think they were jumping on a trampoline in the pool, and then they moved the trampoline or something. That's allegedly what I saw. And I don't know, she was probably watching them from inside, or she was on the side, and then she got upset and she kicked everybody out. So, say one of the neighbor's children then saw White chasing after her daughter, and that's when the neighbor started recording. So, if she already started recording, maybe the little girl should tell her stuff because I think people were saying that the lady, this Samaria White, was used to putting hands on the kids. So, according to the arrest report, deputies went to White's home and asked her about the incident. Deputies said she denied dragging her daughter. So, because I don't even think she was probably so upset, she didn't even realize they were recording her. So, the child was taken to the hospital after redness on her chest and started to say they probably asked to see her. And then I think they showed her the video because the video had already went viral. Because the whoever child, I think it was a girl, started recording it, gave it to her aunt. The aunt tried to reach out to the police like many times, couldn't get through. And then I think she drove to the police station. When she drove to the police station, then they dispatched a police. I think in all, from the time that she actually went to the police station so they could dispatch somebody, it took like an hour and 18 minutes. So imagine if this lady was on some, taking out kids that day kind of stuff. Them kids would have been gone. Because I heard they had other stuff that was going on and they didn't have any available police. That's the world we're living in. And Macon, Georgia, I'm not sure if that's like a rural town or maybe that's the area that they lived in that looked like that. So anyway, they gave her a bond and they charged her with cruelty to children. Well, this was a short, so I'm not going to show the video here. If you want to see the video, I'm sure if you do a little research, you'll find it somewhere on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or TikTok. So this lady Samaria has 3 kids. That's what it seems like from the pictures that I saw. I'm not sure if she has other kids that probably don't live with her, but it looks like 2 girls and a boy. I'm not sure if the fathers are involved, but for you to do that to a child, she might be doing on her own. And this is why I always advocate: you can't raise kids by yourself. A woman was not designed to raise kids by ourselves because we are emotional. We act on emotion. We make decisions on emotions because that's who we are. Because you need that, a child needs that. But when you don't have the balance of a man who's more logical, doesn't mean you're not logical, but the man is more logical. He doesn't act upon emotions unless he's been emasculated. But you have that man to balance you out. So when you would want to go, you know, crazy, he balances you out. Just like you balance him out where he want to do decisions, oh, this is what makes sense and stuff like that. But then your emotion is telling you, no, baby, I think we need to do it this way. So you balance out each other. So, but when you don't have that, you malfunction. You malfunction. And unfortunately, with how the system is, and how the system is so overloaded with parents that don't care, and the system have all these kids, she could come. I don't know. She's going to get a lawyer. They usually have like a guardian advocate. They have like they have an advocate for the child, and I don't know if they have it for the parent. I don't know how Georgia does it, but she could say, you know what, I went through a lot. It was a stressful day. This is what's going on and stuff like that, because technically we don't know what's happening in her life. So she may be going through different stresses, and then she take parenting classes. Of course, they're gonna give her parenting classes. They're gonna probably they probably gonna visit her. Some, depending on the case, 3 months, every week or whatever, twice a week. Caseworker comes and visit your home and see how you taking care of the kids and stuff like that. 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year or whatever. And if everything is fine, she's gonna get her kids back. Even though what we saw, if she does what she needs to do, and depending on the state, she will get her kids back. She will get those kids back. But, did she learn anything? Is she going to change? And then whoever that child is that took that video, child, I would not let my child play with them. Yeah, that's her best friend. But kids, when you get older, you'll understand. Because I wouldn't trust the mother. I would not trust her. Because she already know the only reason why she got caught is because the little girl was filming her and it went viral. I would not let my kids be around her. I just wouldn't. But that's me. When this story first had went viral, I saw this post from a YouTuber's community page, and you have a black mother with her black daughter and says love on your daughter. Now, in a perfect society, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome if that would happen. And it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. But however, that is not reality. That's not everyone's reality, because many people do not have a good relationship with their mother. Sometimes the relationship has deteriorated. Sometimes you just feel you just tolerate your mother, but you really don't like your mother because of how she treated you, or your other sisters, or what may be. And most of the time we do not go and find out why did this happen. Why my mother never loved me? Why what I did was never good enough for her? Why she never accepted me? Why? What happened to her that caused her to treat me the way that she treated me? What happened to her that caused her to always call me names and stuff like that? To choose the side of my brother or my light skinned sister or whatever, because that happens, child. That happens. Why? What happened to her? What happened? And sometimes you don't even have a good relationship with your mother. You can't even ask those questions. And some people, some mothers, if you go and ask them, it's a problem. But there's other people that know her, that knew how your mother was raised. Because when I was younger, because I didn't have a good relationship with my mother when I was at a young age, because I always felt that she was like picking on me and stuff like that, and then she would be calling certain names that would call me. I I did not like that, and then when I come to find out, is because she treated me a certain way, because there were certain things that I was doing. I was going in the same lane that she was going in, and it was not good. So she didn't know how to redirect my behavior. So she thinking, if she called me names, if she called out the behavior or whatever, or disciplined me more, then that would change my behavior. That didn't happen. So, so I was like, yeah, I don't like this lady. And then we started to become close when she had first discovered that she had cancer, and then we started to become close, and I started to understand a little bit more what happened. But then I would always say, when I was, like I said, I would say, when I get old, when I get my kids, I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm going to have the perfect relationship with my daughters and stuff. My daughter, not have daughters, but I started to do the same thing as her. I started to do the same thing as her because I really didn't understand, you know. Now, coming to find out about her treating me that way, I came to find out that later from another relative. But at that time, I guess I kind of tolerated her. I kind of felt sorry for her because, she had cancer. But I really had not forgiven her. Yes, I had not forgiven her at that time. So So when it came to my daughters, like I said, I started doing the same thing in the same line. And then because because that was something I always prayed to God, and I was like, I truly did not want that. To me, I believe too, in my opinion, I believe that's like a curse, where you cannot get along with your mother, because your mother is the one who's supposed to tell you certain stuff in life, how to do certain things and stuff like that, give you certain advice and stuff like that, especially when you're going to have your kids, you're going to need your mother. But if you don't have a good relationship with your mother, how are you're going to have to figure it out on your own, whereas you're going to have your mother to help you out. But some people don't even have that, unfortunately. And that's what I did not want. That's not what I did not want. I did not want that at all. But then I remember my sister, we had the same dad, we don't have the same mother, and she would always say, "Yeah, you was always praying that you didn't want that to happen, but you never found out why." Like what I'm saying now, you never found out why, what happened to her that caused her to do that. And in that research, with the information that I got, I was able to change a lot of things that I was doing with my daughters, that it seemed like I was going in the same direction. I was like, Lord, I do not want that, because it's a lot of stuff that I went through that I didn't have to go through, because I couldn't even talk to my mother. I was not able to be vulnerable, open up to her and stuff like that. I had to learn stuff on my own. I had to be hiding stuff and do all kinds of things, because we didn't have that open line of communication. And many people do not have that open line of communication, and this is one of the main reasons why many women do not get along, because the first woman in their lives, they didn't have a good relationship with them. They didn't have a good relationship with their mother. So with other women, you have always you have you don't you haven't you heard women say, "Oh, that's why I don't trust females. That's why I don't trust women. That's why because somewhere some people were raised by different women, whether it was your mother, grandmother, aunt, big sister. So sometimes if you did not have that a good relationship with them, most of the time this is what, starts to make you do not trust women. And I've heard women say, this is why I don't trust women. This all my friends are men. All my friends are boys and stuff like that. And then you have all this hatred and disdain and things all anger balled up inside of you, things you don't understand, all these questions, and then you wonder why you always lashing out on people. You're lashing out on your kids, you're lashing out on your man, you're lashing out on your boyfriend, you're lashing out on your girlfriend, 'cause some people go that way. You're lashing out on your husband, you're lashing out on your co-workers and friends and stuff like that. You use a ticking time bomb. Nobody know when you're gonna explode and stuff like that, because you have all these stuff inside you and you don't have a safe space to, you know, articulate yourself, to bring everything out there. Yes, you go to therapy, but the majority of people that are therapists or psychologists are women, because it's a woman dominated sector, but you don't even trust women. So you supposedly in therapy, but you act like somebody who there's no difference. You probably like have somewhat of a difference or whatever, but there's no difference, and you go to therapy for real, but that's no different, because you don't trust women. And because you don't trust women, you're unable to be vulnerable and open up so you can get the help that you need. And then you can't even go to a man, because we live in a society where they talk bad for men, they villainize men, men are this and men are, so you can't even go to a man therapist. So how are you getting help? That's why some people say go to therapy, but there's something inside of you that you never dealt with. Therapy is not going to help you yet. Some stuff you have to take accountability for, a responsibility. You have to confront, yes, this is who I am. I truly got a problem. And this is people's reality. This is people's reality. That okay, me and my mom didn't get along and stuff like that. Oh well, I'll do better with my kids. No, you're not. No, you're not. How are you going to do better with your kids? What are you going to do something, if you're going to do something different, you're going to learn different methods and stuff like that. If you willing to do that, yes, it'll be different. But if you think, oh no, I'm just going to do something different stuff, I'm going to do the complete opposite of what she did, but then there are other ways that you're alienating your children. Women are more encouraged to, girl, cry it out, let it out, let it out, stuff like that. When you go through certain stuff, they encourage you to cry and let it out and stuff like that, but not to be open and transparent and to talk about what happened to you, what is going on. You just have people, that's there to coddle you. Girl, you gonna make it. Yes, you will. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Sometimes you be crying several nights. Joy still ain't come, because the person was there to coddle you. And then she put all kind of strength and energy and telling you all of this. That was just for that one day. But since you were just encouraged to cry it out, girl. Cry it out. God have different mothers he could give you, stuff like that. Then you have a problem again. She ain't got no time for you. Because all that energy, that word of encouragement was for that one day. She ain't got no time to keep on encouraging you. So there are many things that cause a divide between mothers and daughters. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. Some girls are closer to their dads if they even have a father. Some of them is other people, aunts and grandmothers and cousins that they have a close relationship with. They don't have a close relationship with the person that birthed them. And then some relationships have become so deteriorated. Some people, your mother, you're gonna have to love her from afar, because she has grown. Some people, it's gonna be up to them for them to change, because she has grown to dislike you, and it's nothing's gonna change that unless God changed that in her, and that's the person who has to be willing to do that. So some people, you have to love them from afar, but you have to forgive them. Just like I said, it took me a while to forgive my mother. She had already passed away and everything. And God was like, you see, that's what you're going to have to forgive. You're going to have to forgive her. And I remember the day that I was finally able to forgive. There was so many things not working out in my life. And then I think it was like, for you, because I've heard Tiffany Montgomery say, whenever something was linked to a curse, when you get freed from it, God adds speed to it. There's speed, so you could know that there was a curse there, and God accelerated because you were so far behind. I remember when I forgave her, within a month, a lot of things that was just not working out, God just opened it up, opened it up, opened it up right away, because I forgive. But this curse, because I call it a curse. Some people will just say, "Oh yeah, that's you just don't get along." Okay, whatever. But that's a curse. For you to be jealous of your daughter, for you to dislike your daughter, to have a hatred towards her for whatever reason, maybe because you didn't have a good relationship with the father, maybe because there's certain stuff in that your daughter has you wish that you have, or whatever it may be. It's so many different reasons. But for you to dislike your child, that's a curse. And we need to find out, why is this happening? Where did it come from? So many questions that needs to be answered. Because if they remain unanswered, it's just going to continue to generation to generation to generation. That's all. You may not do the same thing as a person did in the same lines, but it's going to be another way where that curse is going to find its way, and then deteriorate your relationship with your mother, deteriorate your relationship with your daughter, because all you think you're doing, oh, I just need to just do, I'm not going to do what she did and treat. Some things you have to find out. You have to do investigation. Y'all investigate everything else. You let something happen, they tell you go investigate something. You already get it, and like you don't even need a business day or 2 business days. Within 24 hours, you already get all the information. Why not go investigate what's going to help your generation? Because it's too many mothers and daughters that just don't have a good relationship, and it shouldn't be that way. It's too many daughters that are holding on to the pain and the resentment and the rejection that they received from their mother when, the mother was alive. Some mothers are long gone, and this daughter is still holding on to that pain. And you wonder why some of you are nasty, and then you have a lot of people out here, refer to women as animals and different things like that because of the way you act. And some people don't even have self-awareness to realize you actually acting like that thing. You have so much pain and anger and all this stuff all inside of you, and you wonder why therapy is not working. Therapy is not working for you because you don't want to take responsibility. You're not being transparent. You're not being vulnerable. You're not opening up and say, yes, this is what happened to me. This is how it affected me. When my mother did this when I was younger, this is how it made you feel. Oh no, I don't care. She oh well, that's what she always did. But look at me now. Look what I've accomplished. You take responsibility. Okay, she did this. She called me a B. She called me this. It hurt my feelings. It made me feel like I was nothing. Confront that feeling. Let you sit in that, so that you don't never do it to your child. It's certain things that happen. Oh, I don't care. Oh well. Oh well. It doesn't matter. That was in my past and stuff like that. But your past is still affecting your present, and it's going to affect your future. I don't know what this lady, what she has learned, and how she is treating her daughters or all her kids. I'm not sure if that's just that one daughter, that's the way she treat her. We don't know. But this happens in many, many, mother-daughter relationships, and it starts at a very young age. It starts with the mother paying more attention if she has sons and stuff like that, or she had a better relationship with the other father and stuff like that. It started at a very young age, and it builds up, and stuff like that. And you thinking as a mother you're disciplining your child, that's how you discipline, stuff like that, and it's further bringing more disdain and dislike and hatred your daughter having for you. And then you wonder why. I know people that went off to college that have never ever went back to their home ever. They don't get visit for Christmas. They don't visit for Thanksgiving. They don't visit for summer because they never had a good relationship. And they say, "Oh, she don't call me, child. I'll never do." Y'all never had a good relationship, and nobody cared enough, or nobody thought it was important enough to find out why we don't have a good relationship. Everybody went their separate ways and stuff like that. Oh well, you wanna outgrown? You wanna outgrown? Oh well, whatever. So you give up on your child? You give up on your child at 12 years old. She 13, you give up on her. She 14, you give up on her. 16, or you wanna act like you're an adult? You wanna be fast? That's your business. So you give up on your child. So now she learning, she going through all kind of stuff, dealing with people that you could see from a mile away. Speedy, I don't think you should be friends with that girl. I don't think you should date that boy. This and this and this and that. You don't even have this. You can't even tell your daughter anything like that. Give up on the kids at a very young age. Oh well, you could do whatever you want to do. So you release them to be devoured. And you wonder why they're not friends with you. You wonder why you don't have a good relationship. You wonder why she don't bring her kids to see you. Come on. You wonder why she went to court to get married. She could have did a big wedding, but she went to court to get married because she didn't want you to be there at her wedding. This is very unfortunate, but this is what happens a lot. And because this is stories, when they go viral like that, they trigger a lot of people because a lot of people are going through this, have gone through this, and will go through this. But there is a lack of hope because not everybody has experienced it. There are some people that have awesome relationships with their mother, great relationship with their mother, and then their mother had a great relationship with their mother. We need to continue that. We need to, and even if your relationship has been deteriorated, you never were able to have that mother-daughter relationship with your mother, you can do it with your daughter, with new knowledge, with finding out why, with being intentional how you raise your child, with being careful how making them have an open line of communication with your child, like so they can express themselves. You know, some people, you say, "Oh, mommy, this ah! What?" You can't say nothing. They'll go, they'll go Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on you. So I think that's all I had to say about the situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.